Could also be the blooper reel.
The blooper reel?
Well, it's really funny, actually, because it's a Mario enemy, isn't it? A blooper. They're the little squid guys. It's a blooper.
Booper.
No, not booper. Blooper.
Blooper?
Yes, with the L.
Okay. Booper?
No, not booper. You're a booper.
You're a booper.
I know what it means, but you're definitely a booper.
I'm pretty sure you're a booper. My dad said you were a booper.
I didn't know he was such a racist. And welcome to the Inside All Day podcast, where, quite frankly, we haven't seen you guys in a while.
Well, we really haven't seen them.
Touché. We haven't spoken in your general direction.
You haven't listened to us in a while.
Yeah, there we go.
It's been a hot minute. I think we took off in the entire month of February.
Yeah, and I'd really say, it was a wide variety of things, but 2023 is just showing us that it's 2022's older brother, and we're making our way through it. And
no, positive thinking. Positive thinking.
Thoughts, that's
Plus,
right.
There was an overwhelming amount of different media out there during the beginning of the year. It was just seemed very overwhelming.
That's not what held us back. What held us back was dog surgery, illness.
I lost my job.
You losing your job, car issues. That being said, we're not here to make anyone feel sorry for us. We're just letting you know we're not lazy. We were just incredibly busy.
We were adults.
I hate the phrase adulting, but I'll go ahead and say we were adulting this time.
And again, welcome to the Inside All Day podcast,
where all we've been doing is endlessly eating cheese wheels like it's Skyrim.
Yep. Today, we're going to talk about video game adaptation, movies, and TV shows.
Yep, that is going to be what we have on par for today. We were discussing, with The Last of Us out and just, adaptations, video game adaptations become much bigger recently.
Well, I think overall, video games are a great thing to adapt. The story, it's another way of storytelling, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's another version of storytelling. And you're right, with the release of The Last of Us and now WB announcing they're doing a Hogwarts Legacy series. Blumhouse is doing Five Nights at Freddy's. Is it
Five Nights at Freddy's?
Thank you.
Blumhouse, actually, I imagine they'll be actually really creepy.
I've never played the games, but I've always watched the breakdown videos by Matt Pat.
Matt Pat.
And they would get very intense, very long. It just seemed all over. Again, not made for me, right? These were made for children.
Well,
right?
No.
Were they made for adults?
Go back and look at them. Yeah, no, those are horror games. Children played them for sure.
Aren't they like a horror version of Chuck E. Cheese?
Yeah, it's kind of what it turns into. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's just like, at first it seems like, I'm just playing a game where it's creepy and they come alive at night and try to kill me. Okay, it sounds like a scary game. And then you listen to all the videos about it. And it's like, oh no, if you actually look at this map in the background and read this letter that's on this one table and you're looking at it at a certain time.
But you gotta scroll in.
Yeah, you can read that.
And put the light, up the lighting.
Yeah, if you keep going through the story, you actually find out that it's really about this child that was murdered. And it's like this remember, it's like this is a whole thing. It's a whole thing. I would
recommend going back.
Don't ruin it for anyone.
Yeah, go back and watch the Matt Pat videos.
And I'm just saying something grotesque.
These are old videos too, right? At least 8 years old.
I don't know about 8, but they're old. But we're not here to talk about Five Nights at Freddy's necessarily.
We're not even here to talk about Last of Us, even though everybody's been talking about The Last of Us.
Everybody can have their turn. We'll come back later.
And we're not even here to talk about WB announcing Hogwarts Legacy, which, by the way, that game is awesome.
It's pretty cool.
I enjoy that game a lot. I will say no spoilers. A little disappointed in the overall story, but I think they're setting it up for a lot of
DLC.
Yeah, DLC releases.
I'm not as far along as she is.
I've been unemployed, so I've been playing.
Well, then you've been cheating with the 3 unforgivable curses.
That's true. I'm trying to be a dark wizard.
No, you're succeeding.
Yes, that's true. You were watching me yesterday play, and you're like, God, start right off the bat, huh?
I'm like, I just sneak up on people and knock them out. You're just like, gank, murder. Hope you say goodbye to your kids.
So, video game adaptations. That's what we're talking about before we get totally off topic.
So off topic. And we were actually having a little friendly debate as to what would be like a better focus for like what would be like the initial, like when you think of like in the direction of like a first video game movie.
So when I think of video game movies, I don't think of the first. I think of the one that I enjoyed as a kid growing up a lot, which was Mortal Kombat. Both
One
the
of my
first and
all-time
second.
favorite movie lines.
And when
Comes from that
researching video game adaptations, there are a ton, more than I realized.
Oh yeah.
But let's take it back, Chris. Take it back.
But I want to talk about my favorite movie line.
Oh, what's your favorite movie
It's
line?
at the end of the first Mortal Kombat. It's old. There's no spoiler warning for this. Shit, it's Liu Kang, your soul is mine. Oh god, that always got me. I was like, oh god. And then he does the bicycle kick.
You got that out of your system?
I did. I had to get it out of my system.
Okay.
I love that line.
So let's go back to before we were born. In the 80s. Well, we were born in the 80s, but we were late 80s babies.
You want to give him our social security number?
What was the most popular video game system?
Oh man, I don't know. It was probably an Xbox One, right? PlayStation 5. Am I close?
No.
In the 80s, PlayStation 5s were out in the 80s.
No.
Was it? Oh, right. Advent of mobile gaming was iPhones.
No.
Okay, it was probably an NES.
Yes, you're right. Nintendo.
The Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah. It actually revived the video game market. And its merch was pretty much everywhere.
It still
Like
is.
prior to that, the video game market was kind of in a decline, and Nintendo just revived the whole thing. And
smash hits like
look how
ET.
it's grown up now. I mean, Universal Studios at Hollywood just opened up Super Mario World.
I'm so excited about that.
And then, in your opinion, what do you think is the first video game movie adaptation?
So when I think of it, like when it comes to me, like in terms of what we're talking about here, I got to go with Wizard.
Did you cheat?
You mean did I cheat?
Have you ever actually watched that movie?
I watched that movie one time, probably when I was like, I don't know, single digits years old.
So when I was doing the research for this podcast, initially I thought it was going to be the movie we're going to kind of talk a little bit more in depth today, which is the Super Mario Bros.
Yeah, you went down a rabbit hole on that one.
And I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense. Probably it's one of the first movies I remember as a kid watching, but going down the rabbit hole, you're right. It was The Wizard, starring Fred Savage in 1989. It's about a boy and his brother. They run away. They
Hitchhike for the Ultimate Video Game Championship.
Yep, Ultimate Video Game Championship.
Oh, here we go.
Pretty much it was a feature-length movie that was like a commercial for Nintendo the whole time.
Yeah.
But it was the first time that allowed Americans to see Super Mario 3 in action during the movie, which made a ton of money after it was released.
I mean, it was always destined to.
Which, well, since that was pretty much a commercial for Nintendo the whole time, it's going to lead to Super Mario Bros. In 1993. And holy cow, did this movie... So, I posted on my Twitter that I was researching this movie, and boy, did I get a bunch of mixed comments back. Some people are like, well, it's not a great movie. It's not a good movie. And some people are like, oh, I remember this movie from growing up. It's not a good movie, but it's a cult classic now. And if you take away the IP of it, I think it's kind of matches the sci-fi action movies of the late 80s and early 90s. Take away Mario Brothers and it fits. Yes. Have you ever seen it?
I have probably seen that 2 or 3 times, but also again, it's been a really long time. Closer to when it came out than to now, that's for sure.
Well, it went through quite a lot. I did a couple hours of research. So, movie was released in May 28th of 1993 with a budget of $48 million, which, by the way, they went way over budget and shooting schedule. Box office only made $39.9 million, and right now it sits at a 29% at Rotten Tomatoes.
Womp womp.
Yeah, needless to say, this movie at the time didn't do so well, but like I said, it since then has turned into a cult classic. Nintendo was listening to film pitches. The Nintendo of America president, I'm going to butcher this name.
Minoru Arakawa.
Thank you. Where he liked Roland Joffrey's pitch. Joffrey. I think it's Joffrey. Joffrey. No, it's not Joffrey. That's Game of Thrones. Joffrey. He's a two-time Oscar nominated. And while there were a bunch of different studios that pitched, they, for some reason, liked his pitch. Even though his production company, Motive, did mostly like dramatic pieces. Like really intense dramatic pieces.
Because that's what I think of when I think Super Mario Bros. Dramatic period piece.
Well, he wanted to do more of an edgy adult Mario movie. So this wasn't originally planned for children. This was more aimed towards adults. So with Nintendo's blessing, they went with that kind of vision of the movie. And it was also to kind of help pull in non-gaming audience. So people who didn't play the games, they were, what would we call today normies, right? In pop culture. People who know of the IP but aren't like true fans. I don't want to say true fans.
They're aware of it, but they're not participating in it.
Yes. Barry Morrow wrote the first script. He also wrote Rain Man, but it never got finished.
Interesting. I can't believe that the guy who did Rain Man worked on that. That seems like just such a different style of movie.
Yeah, this movie went through quite a bit of rewrites. There was another set of writers to start from square one. They wrote another movie called Stay Tuned and decided to take Mario from a fairy tale Wizard of Oz feel. Basically, they wanted to take it where an outsider was dropped into a mythical land to help the creatures from the big baddie. And that was Jim Genuine and Thomas Parker. Nintendo loved that script, which you can kind of see it in the movie. Again, this movie has gone through a lot of rewrites and a lot of different stages, but you can kind of see it. I remember, you take the brothers and they end up in that kind of dino, I don't want to say utopia, but what it was called? Dino Manhattan or something? Dino Hatton.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what it was called.
It's been a minute.
Danny DeVito was asked to not only star, but direct, and he passed on it. So was Harold Ramis. He turned it down to direct. So, lo and behold, what did they do with such a big IP movie, Chris?
I don't know, Nadia. What did they do?
They landed on Rocky Morton and Annabelle I'm going to butcher these names.
Jankel.
Jankel.
I'll who made one movie. Names wrong. I got you.
Who made one movie. DOA, and created the British TV show Max Headroom, which if you Google Max Headroom, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Very iconic 80s look to it. Google it. Max Headroom.
Googling as we're speaking.
Yeah. And they weren't familiar with Mario at all, by the way.
I could tell.
Oh, it gets better, baby. It's get better. Do you know what I'm talking about now?
Oh, yes.
Right? So they're the creators of that. And they did one really weird movie. And they're like, here you go. Here's Mario IP.
This all makes so much more sense now that I've seen this. Everything is falling into place.
Also, I want to note something too. During production, this was at the times where parents were up in a roar against video games. The whole video games will turn your head into mush things was going on, or violence in video games, which I think statistically speaking, it was not proven, right?
I believe the stats hold out, and feel free to double check me on this. The head mushiness was coming directly from the pot the kids were stealing from their parents' sock drawer. No? I'm pretty sure it's still correct.
Well, I mean, video games to me have always been a escape and something to get your brain working. I don't think they turn into... Now, I think they can be addictive. They can definitely be addictive, but I don't think they turn people into violent individuals. I think there's other behavioral issues going on. I'm not a doctor.
Not a doctor.
But that's just my opinion on it. Granted, though, I've played video games since I was little, so I'm biased on it.
And look where you are now, making a podcast.
So what did these two individuals who had no experience in big IP? They scrapped the script and decided to do a prequel movie to the video games. And they hired writers Parker Bennett and Terry Runt. Super Mario World was
Roger
released
Runte.
at the time, by the way. So at this time, Super Mario World was released with the Dinosaur Land. So what they did was they took the idea of the movie, make it more sci-fi, and make it a prequel to the video games, so that the movie
So
would.
it's pre-apocalyptic.
So what happens in the movie would make Nintendo then make Mario games based off what happened. So like taking
I
something
understand.
in history and make it in.
So they're
into-
trying to be the progenitors of the Mario story.
basically working backwards.
Yeah.
You know, meteor hits Earth, creates an alternate dimension where lizards and dinosaurs turn into humans. Yeah.
Yep, exactly Mario as I remember it.
Yep, exactly. I hope this is refreshing. I hope this makes everyone want to go back and watch this movie because it's a good time. Michael Keaton and Arnold Schwarzenegger both turned down the role of Bowser.
That would have been terrible for both of their careers.
I don't know. Michael Keaton as Bowser? You don't think so?
Do it, Mario. Get in the lava.
Yeah. Now, at the time, Tom Hanks was a known star, especially with his comedy. He wanted $5 million to star at the time. And even though he was a well-known star at the time, they assumed he just didn't seem likable to get butts in the seat.
Yeah, Tom Hanks.
$5 million?
Always known for not being likable.
Right. Well, then again, I do like some Tom Hanks movies.
I mean, he's actually known to be a very likable actor. I mean, generally, he's just one of those guys.
The screenwriters were fired in the next draft, which they wanted to do more of a Ghostbusters type movie with a Bill Murray type Mario.
Yep, definitely seems like the direction we were headed.
They were
Mario, as
fired
I remember it.
by the backers, and screenwriter
Can't believe it.
Dick Clementine and I can't say this name, Ian Luff something.
You're on your own on that one.
Was bought in, making the film more grounded. Their template, Die Hard. They even had a Bruce Willis cameo in the castle vents written in.
Of course.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Die Hard. And Mario Castle. You know what?
Yippee-ki-yay, mushroom fucker.
It would be interesting if the new movie would put it in. Just as like a little like Easter egg.
They
No?
shouldn't.
No? So, like I said, a lot of rewrites for this movie. A lot. And if you watch this movie, you can understand why. The other thing is, the set that was used for the Dino Hatton set, which is the grungy, like,
I feel like
based on
I feel like we have to
Manhattan,
keep saying that.
New York look to it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was also the set used on Terminator 2. It was a big cement warehouse that they converted.
Yep, sounds about right.
So
Again.
while there were a ton of Easter eggs, like if you watch the movie, you'll see a ton of Easter eggs in the billboards and stuff like that. It was filled with criminals, prostitutes, and made to make sure like a grungy look. And when the producers visited the set one day, they freaked out. They wanted a more lighter Mario movie. They wanted something a little bit more lighter tone to it.
Gosh, they didn't want modern San Francisco.
Now, at the time, we'll go back to producer Jaffe, you know, the guy who pitched initially the whole adult Mario movie. Mm-hmm. He didn't want to fire the directors. So instead, he hired another set of screenwriters to rewrite scenes behind these directors' back. So cue Ed Solomon, who wrote Bill and Ted.
I feel like I'm getting Simpsons vibes. Skinner, what? No, I'm not out of touch. It's the kids who are out of touch. I'll just have it rewritten in secret.
And to have a production that actors aren't talking to directors aren't talking to producers aren't, and nobody's talking to Nintendo this entire time, by the way. So May of 1992 production begins on the movie. They casted Bob Hoskins as Mario.
Now we're getting into things that actually occurred.
And who was Luigi? Sorry.
Who was Luigi? John Leguizamo.
Thank you. And Dennis Hopper as Bowser. And
obviously.
Samantha Mathis as Princess Daisy. So we didn't get a Peach. By the way, Bob Hoskins, I hope I'm saying that name right. Hoskins.
Hoskins.
He said this movie was basically the worst decision of his life.
I think a lot of people who were involved in that said that. By the way, just a quick little tidbit side note, because I was intrigued in looking this up. $5 million that Tom Hanks wanted in 1993 today is $10.3 million.
I'm sorry, I wouldn't give Tom Hanks 10. Well, maybe back
Tom
then.
Hanks gets a lot more than $10 million for movies now. That's for sure.
You think so?
Yes.
I don't think so. I think now he's kind of set in the career of like, oh, it's just another Tom Hanks movie. Kind of like, it's another Nicolas Cage movie. Or, it's... like, I don't think he makes more than Tom Cruise.
I don't think very many people make more than Tom Cruise, but Tom Cruise is also willing to throw himself out of airplanes.
That's true. The last super megastar, movie star, I watched the other day, watching him like dove out of a plane onto he just like,
oh yeah, just effortlessly throws himself out of a plane like, I'll see you guys later. See you guys on the ground. Ah!
It was, yeah.
Sorry, we got far field on that one.
We did. Hold on. I want to pull up something really quick.
Okay, we're pulling up something. I hope it's not Tom Cruise throwing. Is it Tom Cruise's screen test to be Luigi?
No, but that would be hilarious. Oh yeah, I wanted to pull up the quote from Bob Hoskins. He said, "The worst thing I ever did, Super Mario Brothers. It was a fucking nightmare. The whole experience, a nightmare." Okay. All right. So I'll get back into it. Okay. So production begins May of 1992. Directors were surprised and modified by the new rewrites, since while the script was more kid-friendly campy comedy, it did not match the set. So now we have a rewritten script. It's supposed to be lighter, but then we have Dino Manhattan, which is full of prostitutes and criminals, and grungy and has like oozy stuff, and so yeah. So. They tried to work with it, but who was really pissed about it?
Nintendo?
The actors.
Oh, yeah, probably that too.
Oh, yeah. I would be mad too. You think of it. You sign up for a movie, you're thinking you're getting into this really cool project, and then all of a sudden they're rewriting as scenes are being shot to be more of a kid-friendly movie. Which, looking back at it, I don't think it's really a kid-friendly movie. There's a lot of adult tone, right?
There's a lot of it's been so long since I've seen it, but yeah, I remember it being like they tried to film Super Mario movie, but they said, well, crap, the only set we can get is Judge Dredd.
Pretty much, yeah. So actors would get new lines on a daily basis, to the point where they wouldn't even read them until the camera was rolling, because they knew they would just change them again. That's really frustrating. That's really frustrating. Fisher Stevens and Richard Edson, who played Iggy and Spike Koopa, said screw it, and most of their lines in the movie are ad-libbed and improv'd on their own.
Good for them.
Yeah. The script kind of turned into like a Frankenstein monster. It was like pure chaos on set. Even Yoshi was added last minute, shotless with conceding notes and which lenses to, like, everything was just a mess. Directors were chewed out nightly.
Yeah, I've seen the movie.
Yeah. They refused to put the Mario Brothers in their signature overalls until producers demanded it. Bob and John drank very heavy on set. There was a lot of drinking going on this set. No one, like I said earlier, nobody was talking to no one, especially Nintendo. Nintendo had no idea what was going on set.
Hooray, movie. That's where they were at.
Couple known things. An extra had coffee thrown on them because they were told their costume was too clean. Stuntman's crotch caught on fire from a spare spark. An electrician nearly died from driving a electrified lever, who had to be kicked away from the source.
Oh, that's fun.
And John broke Bob's fingers. I think it was a scene where they're closing the door to their van thing.
Oh, and he closed on his hand.
All, like, multiple fingers.
Ooh,
yeah.
No bueno.
10 weeks scheduled filming turned into 15 weeks. Obviously went over budget. The original ending was scrapped because they couldn't keep it in budget, which the original ending had Mario on top of the Brooklyn Bridge defeating Bowser with a bomb. Ba-bomb. You know what, Nintendo... okay.
We are sex bomb. Sorry, that's Scott Pilgrim. We'll do a different episode on that.
Instead, they went with the Koopa in a bucket with 2 painted Super Soakers ending.
Yeah, like you do.
One of the cool things about this movie, though, it was the first movie to use Autodesk Flame, which is now a standard in the industry for the CGI.
Oh, cool.
And
fun fact. Always has to be a prototype. Doesn't always turn out well.
No, and I'm about to get into the sad part of this movie.
A lot of sad
so the directors, LA Times at the time. You
got this.
Did an on-set article
New York.
where the duo declined to be interviewed. On set, they were known as the Hydra.
A multi-headed monster.
Morton was locked out of the editing room after the article. They were not allowed to help with the reshoots after the producers wanted more action. The opening animation in the movie was done without their knowledge. Their agents dropped them, and they were blacklisted in Hollywood for years. Now, the movie was eventually released into theaters, but it was pulled after its 4th weekend because its second weekend, it was also competing against Jurassic Park. It's been
two very different dinosaur movies.
It's been disowned by everyone.
Again, Bob Hoskins, worst decision in his career.
However,
we did get.
Nintendo did adapt the Mario from the movie. When he's asked what his name is, he goes, Mario, what's your last name? Mario. Nintendo actually adapted that from the movie. Prior to that, it was...
And Luigi Mario?
Yeah. Well, I don't know about Luigi Mario, but at least Mario. So that's where video game movies started off.
Well, depending how you feel about it. Let's know what you're thinking. Wizard? Super Mario Bros? Where you
I think Super Mario Bros. I don't really think a lot of people know about the Wizard movie.
Hey, not knowing about it and it not being the first, 2 very different things.
But I'm saying, like, when you first ask an average person our age, what is the first video game? They're going to go with probably the Super Mario Bros.
I think a lot of people our age might even just say, like, Mortal Kombat because they're uninvolved, and that was the first really big one.
By the way, I can't find this movie anywhere to watch. It's not on Prime, not on Netflix, not on Hulu. Nowhere to be found. I was looking for streaming anywhere because I wanted to watch it again. You can watch it on YouTube, but you have to it's like 20 videos to watch one whole movie.
Oh yeah, where it just breaks it down. I can get this DVD to us tomorrow for $3.74. Big letters, big orange letters. It's a blast. Guess what's coming to our house?
So Super Mario Brothers.
Hey, hold on, real quick. For everyone listening, it is Sunday, March. What is it? Where's my date? 5th. There we go. Currently on Amazon, it is 63% off for the DVD for $3.74 with Prime 1 day. And
maybe Prime was listening to me while I was researching this movie. Right?
Oh man, this ain't no game. It's a live action thrill ride. What a movie poster.
To be honest, researching this movie and reading about what happened backstage drama reminded me of a lot of the little horror movies I would work on right out of college.
Well, actually, it's funny you mentioned the horror movie thing because I was thinking about it earlier, and I think there's a great, at least a little thing we can mention here from your past as it relates to this topic. You're looking at me quizzically. You're thinking, where could he be going? Well, you used to work in haunted houses, and we'll keep his anonymity as good as possible here. Paul, who used to work in haunted houses, he worked on the original Mortal Kombat.
Right.
I don't want to put words in his mouth. I hope I'm not misquoting him here, but I do believe I remember I believe he said he
created the K.
He put the K in Mortal Kombat. And I believe he did the design of the arcade cabinet as well. He did all the art. Yeah,
he tours, I believe, conventions for it.
So yeah, it's just a fun little.
Did you buy that movie?
I'm working on buying it right now.
Oh man.
Live on air. Well,
buy real media. That's for sure, right?
Physical media.
When you want physical media.
That's why I was telling. Well, just gonna get the download only PlayStation 5. Why? When you want to play that game that you really like 3 years from now, and everything's shut down on the PlayStation Store and it's no longer available on there. What are you gonna do? Nothing.
All right. Okay.
Sorry, I'll get off that soapbox.
So that was Nintendo. I don't think Nintendo has made a movie since recently with Sonic. No, that's
No,
not
that's
Sonic.
Sega.
Sorry. Yeah,
Uh-oh.
sorry.
Womp,
Sorry.
womp.
Womp, womp, womp.
Get her,
Oh,
internet. Get her.
Pokemon Detective Pikachu. That was cute. That was a good movie. But that's how long it's been since Nintendo has made a movie of their IP. Not an animation. Not talking about like cartoons. I'm talking about a full-length movie. So don't come at me, bro. Do you know what the next movie after Super Mario Brothers was? Because, you know, this kind of took off on using video games to make really cheap, fun 90s movies, right? So right after Super Mario Brothers, the next year was Double Dragon.
I remember seeing Double Dragon, had Adobo in it.
Then we had Street Fighter.
Oh, heck yeah, with
The same year.
what's his name? Jean-Claude Van Damme as Guile.
Yep. And then the movie I remember the most, Mortal Kombat, August 18th, 1995. And then the second one was 2 years after that, November 21st, 1997.
Do you remember the height of 3D technology when Scorpion does the "get over here" and you got like the Johnny Cage fight and it's like snapping in his face, like, oh, the height of 3D technology at the time.
Which I might be in the side that not a lot of people, but I actually kind of enjoyed the remake that came out a couple years ago. Not a remake. It's not really a remake. Is it a remake? I think it's just an extension of the universe.
I just choose not to remember it because it was pretty awful.
Well, they're making a sequel to it.
They really shouldn't.
Really?
Yeah,
There's a lot of movies they shouldn't be making sequels to.
Hey, I don't disagree with you at all. Hey, also, just so everyone also knows, you can get 3 Ninjas for $6.99.
3 Ninjas! I grew up on that stuff. I love that movie.
Oh, there's a Blu-ray collector's edition of The Wizard.
So getting back into video game time while you're looking at old
Sorry,
80s movies.
I had to buy movies.
Well, side note too, like
shopping with me.
not a video game movie, but back then I also saw, what's that Bruce Lee movie?
What? Now we're going. You telling
Now
me
I'm going all. I know.
Yeah, let's get back on subject.
Enter the Dragon.
Speaking of movies that
Enter the
have nothing to do
Dragon.
with what we're
Enter the
talking
Dragon. Me and my cousins would watch that movie, and my one cousin would turn it off during the sex scenes, and then like
about. Fast forward.
press forward, and then play it again. And if he's listening, yeah.
Oh, you say? Yeah, I know exactly who it is.
And then we had Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. With Angelina Jolie.
I remembered enjoying that show or that movie.
I'm sure you did.
Oh, easy peasy.
And then what did we get? Which really I don't know what they're going to do with this IP, because the latest TV show sucked. The latest movie sucked.
Yeah, but a lot of the fans like the movie series.
A lot of the fans like the first 2 or 3 of the movie series.
Okay, fair.
And
you and I are sitting here talking about it. We haven't even told anyone that we're
Resident
talking about
Evil.
Resident Evil yet.
I feel like people would know. And I feel even the movie wasn't really a close adaptation of the video games from what I remember. Like they haven't really made a movie that's taken the story from the video game and placed it in the movie. However, I'm told, because I never played The Last of Us, but I'm told so far from what we've seen, and we haven't seen the last 2 episodes or the last episode. We're like an episode or 2 behind. And it's just so sad. But you're like, yep, this is it.
It's literally like, she's like, she didn't understand because she didn't play the game, and I did. And it got to the point where she finally figured it out, and we go sit down, watch, and we're like, we're ready to eat dinner. I'm like, do you want to be sad tonight? We can watch Last of Us, or do you want to not be sad? Oh, we want to not be sad. Let's watch something else. It's not a bad show. I just don't want to be sad right now.
It's. I mean, I think it's okay.
I think they're hitting their tone pretty well.
I'm a little disappointed because it doesn't seem like the story is moving. And granted, again, are a couple episodes behind.
Well, it's also why I never understood why everybody liked the show. It's all set pieces.
You mean the video game?
Yeah, man, I'm all over the place. Yes.
I mean, I know how the first and second one, I know the storylines. I know, I'm not going to spoil it for anyone, but I know how the first video game ends, and I know how the second one starts and ends too. Not my kind of cup of tea, even though I like horror stuff. It just didn't seem like a video game I would enjoy a lot of, but man, is it depressing. Mm-hmm. It's sad.
Yeah, generally.
I know post-apocalyptic storytelling tends to be very dark and sad, especially the worst type of monsters during those type of storylines tend to be humans. But man,
wait,
I'm like,
another humans are the monster storyline. I've never seen that before.
it's always the humans are the monsters.
I never noticed.
And then one of my favorite video games that I used to love playing in the arcade, House of the Dead.
Yeah. We should play that on Switch. I have that.
Really?
Yeah. We
but it's different when you play it in the arcade with
with
the
for
fake
sure. When
guns
you got
and
the
you're
gun, it's got that fake recoil. Yeah, it just hits different.
Yeah,
I was a Time Crisis person myself. I understand.
Did they make that into a movie? I don't even think so.
Time Crisis? No. Time Crisis exists in its own parallel universe.
There's Alone in the Dark. There's Doom, which I remember watching that in theaters, and that was rough. Silent Hill wasn't bad. But again, I had never played the games.
Blood Rain, which had, was it Christiana Loken from the third Terminator movie?
Hitman series.
Yep. Where they had, did they have Timothy Olyphant in it? In one of them?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure. Max Payne, which to me, I always think of Max Payne and Hitman like the same game, but I know it's not.
No, absolutely.
I know it's completely different, but it's different. Prince of Persia with Jake Gyllenhaal with his long ass hair.
I love the Prince of Persia series.
That's a Disney movie.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a Walt Disney Studios movie.
I didn't actually know that.
Well, that makes...
No.
Because he's a prince.
Stop it.
It's Prince of Persia.
He's a Disney prince? That's what you're going for?
He's a Disney prince. Need for Speed.
Oh, no, hold on. You jumped over one, because there's a game I played the crap out of, and it has one of the longest names on here, and it starred Jason Statham. Actually, I also believe this had Christiana Loken in it as well. In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege tale. I played the shit out of Dungeon Siege.
I don't remember that movie.
Oh, it's okay. You don't need to. Sorry, casting crew. It's not a shot at you. It's just, well, you probably saw it.
Tons of Resident Evil because they're banking on that IP.
Right.
Wow. And you look at the score of them, they just go further down and down as it releases.
Listen, Warcraft. The
Warcraft
Warcraft movie.
You know what?
Warcraft falls into a niche for me where it's kind of like you can enjoy it if you were really into Warcraft, and I really used to be. But if you were not into Warcraft, I don't think you were ever going to enjoy this.
I don't know. Did we watch that?
Do we watch it? I bought it.
Oh, right.
Literally, it was like the story's meh. The graphics meh. It's just kind of fun to see my fandom up on the screen.
I worry that's going to be that new D&D movie.
Oh, it's 100%. We talked about Doom, so let's talk about another.
I didn't know they made an Assassin's Creed movie.
Poopy rock movie at Rampage. We watched the Assassin's Creed movie together. Oh, that's a bad sign. Sorry.
18%. I'm not.
They had Michael Fassbender as the main character.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember this movie at all.
Oh yeah. Oh,
We're gonna have to watch this.
No, please don't.
We should.
No, I've seen it. You're on your own.
Really?
Nadia, you've seen it. You've blocked it out. You probably don't want to see it again. It was for your own mental safety. Your brain placed in.
I kind of want to see it now. I don't remember it. Scored a 36 out of 100. Oof.
Rampage was duty.
We didn't even watch Rampage.
I don't need to watch.
Is that big gorilla movie with The Rock?
I used to love playing the Rampage. Yeah, it's got The Rock in it. Well, we can talk about, as we're reading some of the newer ones, though, we do have some fun stuff in here, though.
Pokemon Detective Pikachu. So we both thought this movie was going to be dog shit.
Absolute dog shit.
And this movie turned out to be super cute, really enjoyable, rewatchable.
Again, it was fun to see my fandom on the screen, all the various Pokemon doing all the cute things,
but
participating in life.
Ryan Reynolds, who I think...
I'm a little over Ryan Reynolds at this point, but I think that was one of the
I think Ryan Reynolds is just not paying his bills. That's why he's in every single commercial for every company he owns. Mint Mobile. Wasn't there another one?
He's got a couple, like Mint Mobile. I think he's into like a different banking thing as well. And there's the gym.
Is his wife just not working? Is she just not acting? She's just staying home to be a mom? I mean, that's cool. Good for her. But man, yeah, I feel like every YouTube ad is either sticker meal with the stupid shrimp thing, which is... like I maybe it's like some kind of deep meta joke.
Now hold on sticker meal if you do want to sponsor us.
That's true. I will probably be better than shrimp.
Things about shrimp shirts and your stickers.
Yeah. And especially if you want to get a shirt with a shrimp on the shirt.
It would be okay.
And then a sticker of the shirt with the shrimp on the shirt.
Okay, we're going far afield again.
But then, or it's a Ryan Reynolds ad for one of his companies. So it's one or the other.
Yeah.
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 So Detective Pikachu, I think gives a thumbs up. I don't care what anybody says. Haters gonna hate. It was a good movie.
Listen,
it's better than some of the games that I've been releasing lately.
We're going to touch back just a pinch on Resident Evil because I want to talk about Monster Hunter with Mila Jovovich and or however you pronounce her last name. I'm sure I butchered that one. And
didn't they set that up for a sequel?
They definitely did. I definitely enjoyed it.
We saw that in the drive-in.
We did see it. It's my first drive-in movie ever. And I will definitely say does not match any of the Monster Hunter story.
Did I fall asleep?
No. Oh. I don't think so. You probably don't remember it. But it was a good time. I enjoyed it, but I think it may fall in one of those categories once again. Like, oh, it's a fandom thing. I enjoy it because it's my fandom thing. I still want to release the sequel, though.
Hey, I get it. Man, I get it. There are some movies, some shows that are dog shit. And I still am like, nah, man. I want to watch it.
Yeah, like most people are Asian. Friends, come at me.
Oh, I can't stand Friends. I can't stand that show. I don't get it. Maybe because I didn't watch it when it was...
Hold on. Save it for the Friends episode.
No, but seriously, maybe because I didn't watch it while it was being released, like similar to like the Game of Thrones thing.
I started watching and then everybody in school would just come in the following day, and everybody was just... I just got tired of hearing everybody talk about it.
Well, like Game of Thrones brought back the water cooler conversation. Everybody, sat.
Everybody's watching the same show.
So same thing with Friends, and I just never was into it. I'm more of a Seinfeld kind of gal. Like, I will watch Seinfeld to... Chris knows. I'll just randomly choose a season and just let it play out till the end.
Yeah, but it just goes on at random.
Yeah. I like the... I don't know. You can't make it nowadays. That's for freaking sure.
That's an episode. Be on the lookout for shows you can't make these days.
Which is Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Arrested Development. 30 Rock.
30 Rock.
I like how we both went 30 Rock. 30 Rock. What else? Everything. Pretty much everything. Right?
Well, save it for the next one, kid.
Yeah.
Save it for the next one.
Yeah. Monster Hunter, huh?
Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
And I think we maybe end this on a
Sonic
the Hedgehog.
No. There is Sonic the Hedgehog, which was cute. That was enjoyable.
It was very enjoyable.
Both of them were. Especially after they finally fixed his face.
I mean, I wish they would have kept Julia White still, but...
But you forgot the movie that nobody wants to talk about.
Well, which one of the many movies nobody wants to talk about?
Uncharted.
Oh, I did forget about Uncharted.
See, everybody forgets about Uncharted.
It's because I didn't see it in theaters, and I did fall asleep watching that.
Where Marky Mark plays Marky Mark?
Yeah. I mean, he's just at that point in his career. I mean, he's no Sean Connery playing Sean Connery. But he is definitely Marky Mark playing Marky Mark.
Man. I think I put that movie on to play in the background while I was cooking, and I turned it off. I never played the games, and I know the games are a big deal.
I love the games. They're so good.
Who is the main character based off of?
Wait, what?
Isn't the main character based off of...
No, he's not based off anyone. He's his own original character. I think you're confusing it with the fact that everybody wanted Nathan Fillion to play him because he looks like him, and I know how much you love Nathan Fillion.
I don't like Nathan Fillion at all.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I married her either.
Hey, I'm not the only one that thinks he's overhyped.
He's not overhyped.
There's a couple people who...
Nathan Fillion is appropriately hyped.
I never understood Firefly, man. I never got... Maybe because it's just... I like Farscape. I like sci-fi. I never watched Star Trek either, and Star Trek's...
I'm going to start watching Stargate SG-1. It's going to be awesome.
I want to watch Stargate. That's what I want to watch. Not SG-1. Is it the same thing?
No, because Stargate is the movie. I want to watch the series with you.
Oh, yeah. I want to watch the Stargate series.
Yeah, it's SG-1.
But I never... So, like, my... Sci-fi is not a big thing for me. I mean, well, I can't say that.
Womp womp. Incorrect.
Because the thing is, like, the movie that got me into doing special effects, and that's a sci-fi movie. Well, more like a sci-fi horror movie. But, and I like Star Wars.
You're going to get there eventually.
Not the new Star Wars. But I've never...
There's end to the story.
I was never into Star Trek. Like, I watched the movies in the 90s and 2000. I think I've seen one movie with Data in it. Like, Data was like there was a big story about him in the movie and stuff. But I never watched, like, the TV series. I know everybody loves them. I'm just not into them.
No, you only need to watch TNG. The Next Generation is the only series you need to watch. Again, haters, bring it. Picard is the only captain.
But circling back to
Old
Firefly,
Picard.
I think he's
OG Picard.
because I think I was watching what's that TV show with Drew Barrymore in it.
We're going so far.
I know.
Topic
I'm okay
now.
with
Where are
this.
you at?
Okay, St.
Okay,
Clair
join us. We're
Diet
going off-
or whatever it's
Santa
called.
Clarita Diet.
Thank
We're
you.
going off top.
And
We're
he
going
showed
off
up
the
in
road
it, and I
here.
was like, "Oh, come on, man!"
Who, Fillion?
Yeah. Do they think he's
I didn't even know what
bacon?
you're still
I don't
talking
think he's bacon. You know, like an actor that just kind of adds a little special like spice. I think it's what's his face, the other one.
That's my phrase.
What's,
That's when I talk about Alan Tudyk.
that's who I
Tudyk
think is
acting
bacon. I agree with you on that.
And I didn't even come up with it. I got that from somebody else. Wish I could remember who. I think it might have been from Penny Arcade.
But yeah. So anyway, that's video game adaptations.
Well, hold on. We yeah. Sonic was a movie. Sonic was only like the most popular video game franchise adaptation to date.
Sega Genesis.
Well, Sega Genesis. Well,
Did
and
you have a Sega Genesis
don't
or
forget
did
Angry
you have a
Birds.
Sega?
What?
There's different versions of it, right? Sega Genesis, and there was another one.
There, it generally goes like you're thinking like Sega Genesis, then it goes like was it like Dreamcast?
I think that's what it was. Yeah, Dreamcast. Yeah.
No,
I think I had a Sega Genesis.
We have a Dreamcast and a Sega Genesis packed away. Sega Genesis is an underrated system.
You think so?
Vastly underrated. There's so many good titles on there.
I think my sisters and I, when we would go visit my aunt and cousins up in Wisconsin, we would either they had one or we would bring ours, and we would take turns playing Sonic.
Listen, S and SNES are always going to be fan favorites. I get it, but I think the original, some OG Sega Genesis action was often overlooked.
That movie though was pretty good. The Sonic movie.
The Sonic movie was good. I think they hit the perfect amount of camp. Holy cow, talk about something you don't see nowadays. They took fan criticism and actually made corrections instead of just blaming the fans.
I wonder how much that cost.
I mean, I'm
that
sure
must have cost a lot of
Oh,
money.
hold on. You say it cost a lot of money, but you know what they got out of it?
More money.
A sequel.
That's true. The sequel to me
sounds like it was worth the investment.
The sequel was okay to me.
Yeah, I didn't like the sequel as much as the original. They had a lot more.
But it got a
ground to
higher
cover,
percentage
so.
though.
Yeah, but you know what though? It was
But not by much. It was like 63% for Sonic the Hedgehog.
Who plays Robotnik? Jim Carrey.
Jim
There we
Carrey.
go.
Jim
Couldn't think of his
Carrey
name for a
reviving
second.
back
Jim Carrey
his
was so much fun as Robotnik.
crazy Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Perfect for the role though.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love the mustache. That was pretty dope. Perfect for the role. Like I haven't seen Jim Carrey really in anything really good in a long time, and I thought that was really perfect for him.
And you know what? I thought it was really nice to see Idris Elba kind of step out of his like safe space and play a stoic character.
Oh, are you talking about
Shadow the Hedgehog?
Shadow,
which is obviously a joke because he just once again played himself. And
what is?
I like Idris Elba.
I do too.
But listen, he's one of those people. He only acts at one speed.
The third movie's supposed to be coming out next year.
He's good at that speed. Don't get me wrong. But that's it.
Oh, like that bad Dark Tower.
No, we're not. No,
movie.
No, we didn't talk about.
I don't
that.
think he's to blame, but man. Oh, and James Marsden, who always plays like the guy next door, kind of.
The Cyclops next door.
Yeah, look to it. So yeah, Cyclops next door. That's hilarious.
Yeah. I'm calling it now. I don't know if any details have been released on 3 yet, but I know when we finish 2, I believe I turned to you and I said they're gonna bring Amy Rose. We're gonna get the Sonic.
Oh, I think we're getting a female.
We're getting the Sonic love interest. It's happening.
I think we are.
Well, there we go. See.
I'm pretty sure. Well, didn't the ending? Yeah, it's like a white.
Oh no!
No.
That is not Amy.
What is that?
That is Silver.
Silver. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Silver. I'll look it up right now. We'll look it up after. Let's wrap this one up for now. I think we've gone far enough afield on this today. Let us know what you think. What's your favorite video game movie?
And why is it
Or
Mortal
show?
Kombat?
Yeah. Why is it the original Mortal Kombat?
Wait. Hold on. One thing to say. I think the new adaptation was not that bad. I'm gonna end it there. That's my opinion. I think the new one wasn't that bad.
Okay, my opinion on that is our hot take closeout. Welcome to the new Inside All Day hot take closeout. And today, Nadia says it wasn't that bad, and I'm going to go ahead and take the opposite stance and disagree, saying it was fun to watch, but the storyline could have been written by me. Actually, it probably would have been better if it was written by me, and I've not done this before.
It was definitely better than Uncharted. Anyway, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Please make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram. We are on Facebook. Hit that like button. Share us. Leave us a review.
5 stars.
Give us some feedback. Let us know what we can improve. What we are doing good.
Probably a little less rambling, a little more
right.
topic.
I don't know if you enjoy hearing us talk about things.
We went. We did some verbal off-roading today, but I appreciate you guys joining us on our jungle tour.
Yeah. Have a good one, guys.